Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. A very, very good thing. There was something that I'd wanted to say. In fact, I had said it just before starting to record. But ADHD brain, especially since only yesterday did my ADHD med show up again. So after several days of gone cold turkey off my ADHD med, I'm back on it. But I'm really starting to feel the effects of all those days of nuttin'. My brain is going to take a while to catch up. Thumbs up for that. But I have gotten a fair amount of things written down up here. And they're long paragraphs, too. I was really dedicated to making sure I understood what I wanted to say. But one of them was from an actual channel I was watching, and I can't remember what they were talking about. Whether it was a game or a video that someone had taken out in the woods, but they were looking at the snow and just going, oh, this is a beautiful place to bleed out. A perfect place to bleed out. And I'm just like, wow, I imagine that's kind of true. And then somebody in the channel reacted to that, saying that was the masculine urge to bleed out in the snow. Yeah, it's a beautiful place to bleed out. I'd rather not bleed out, but comparatively, that is a peaceful way to go. You just get sleepier. When I was on my blood pressure med, when my blood pressure was going up, my blood pressure med was barely controlling it. And then whatever was making my blood pressure go up stopped. And suddenly my blood pressure med was driving my blood pressure so low I could not stay conscious. I was going below like 95/50. And when that happens, I turn off. My body shuts me down because that's too much energy to run the personality software. And boom, I fall asleep. I go unconscious. And then when my blood pressure comes back up again, I'm able to go, oh, and start moving. But yeah, so thumbs up for that. Now, some of the things I've written down are absolutely silly, and some of them are not. I had gotten a comment from a commenter, well, which makes sense, doesn't it? Saying I should talk about the whole Charlie Kirk situation. And I will come back to that later in the video, because I will talk a little bit about it. But one of the things, I was looking at pictures of a moth, a fluffy moth. A very cute fluffy moth. I think they're called maple moths, and they're bright yellow, and they're like pastel red and pink, and they look really like plushies of a moth and not an actual moth. But the thing is, when you're looking at like a fluffy moth, or a fluffy insect, or a fluffy spider, or a fluffy whatever with all the little hairs that come out of them, those aren't hairs. They're not there to keep the insect warm. That's chitin. Chitin spikes. On their level, that is a massive defense. When you try to eat them, you've got these massive spikes going into any soft tissues. Sure, there's still prey, and there's still a ton of animals that have adapted to that so that they can eat them anyway. But that stuff is not happy and friendly fluff. There are spiders. One brand of tarantula, I can't remember where it is, but it uses its chitinous hair as a weapon. It will turn around and scrape its legs over its abdomen, and that scrapes off the chitin hairs in a cloud. And if you get those in your eyes, that sucks. Chitin doesn't really break down. I don't know what happens, if it's permanent damage and they stay there, or what. But chitin is dangerous. So when you see a fluffy moth, be careful. They're still cute. They're not going to hurt you, but don't try to eat them or get their fluff in your eye. Oof. Oof. Thumbs up for that. But it was just, that was a bit of, I like to get pedantic and tell people about things, and that's an interesting thing, especially when you combine it with the fact that mushrooms, well, fungus, because the mushroom is just the plant. It is the seed-bearing part of the plant, the fruiting body, except it's not a plant. That is the fruiting body of the fungus. And fungus is weird because it uses chitin for its membranes. So when you see fungus and mushrooms, that's chitin. That's one of the reasons it doesn't burn when you're cooking a mushroom. You can't burn them. I mean, if you get it up high enough, I'm talking about cooking temperatures. This is because of the chitin. They are closer to us on the branching ladder and chain of creatures on this planet than they are to plants. Thumbs up. But I'm going to lead on into this one. Oh, I need to move my software here because I cannot see how long I've been recording. There, my apologies. That's the difference between me and other YouTubers. I don't edit. I was thinking about how one of, and I think I've mentioned this in games that I'm playing and recording for the channel, like I like the game Dead Island. I love it. I also enjoy Dying Light, which I'm hoping to do Dying Light for today. So that's good. I want to come back to it even though nobody watches it when I do. And when I say nobody, it's just a small amount of people. Thank you very much if you do watch. I'm just, hey, that's the reality of the situation. But I had realized that more and more I have, and this is not new, it's just the feeling has gotten stronger as I've gotten older. I don't like fighting bosses or fighting most creatures in games. Not because I don't like combat. I do like combat in games. Hell, before my PS4 died, I really love Bloodborne, and that is a combat game. From software, of course. So combat is not what bothers me. And I don't want to play in just story mode if they have it on like a zombie game, because fighting zombies is also part of it. And I want to do that, but I don't like when the flow of the game and everything going on with me comes to a grand screeching halt because there's a boss. And then I got to fight the boss and deal with frustration and get upset. And then when I finally get through it, what do I feel? It's nothing but, Jesus Christ, I hope I never have to do that again. I hate them. Even regular zombie combat in Dead Island bugs me, because this one is specifically a Dead Island thing. But when they're rushing at you, if you use your weapon before they're at you, you aren't going to hit, and you've got a pretty big range. But when they're in range and they're running at you, you're also in range to them. So you can either swing and miss, or swing, hit them, but also take a hit. And if you've got 3 or 4 of them running at you, you're going to be able to hit 1, maybe 2 of them, but each and every one of them is going to get a hit on you, because if you're in range, well, if they're in range, you're in range, and that's just, again, it interrupts the flow of things, and I don't like it. Now, in zombie games, I would understand if, like, up to 4 zombies in a crowd around you. If you put a zone around the player character, any 4 zombies around that, you should be able to just plow through with no danger. If in that outer cloud that you're also taking a look at, you have like over X amount, then that's a swarm. That point, you're in trouble. That point, you are in mass danger, because if you got a swarm or a horde of them on you, which is the big danger with zombies, because they're slow and stupid, is when there's too many of them. So when there's just a couple of them, or you're going through a thin crowd, you should be able to plow through them, just run through them with little to no danger. But once you hit swarm territory, yeah, then you're screwed. I want a game that does that instead of just bringing everything to a halt because I got to deal with combat, because I got to deal with a boss, because I got to deal with 3 creatures who just ran at me, when with one person you're maybe going to be able to hit one of them, but all of them are going to get a hit on you. And that might just kill you right there, causing either a game restart or in Dying Light, which is kind of ridiculous. Oh, hope that's just shiny with the bits of saliva gathering in the corners of my mouth there. Yay. But now I got lost at where I was going. No, that's just light is shining. Yay. Anyway, I cannot remember what I was talking about. I just know that I hate that sort of situation. And I don't like the interruption, the stopping. Joy on that. So let's see what else I have. I talked about the bleeding out, thermoregulation, which is also one of the things that bugs have to worry about. Is there are some that get their temperature from the surrounding atmosphere, but like moths, their abdomens are cooler, where their thorax, where it does a lot of the work, that it burns hotter. But with their hemolymph system, since they don't really have blood, it takes the warmer fluids from their thorax, pumps it down into the cooler abdomen where it can radiate the heat out, and then the cooler hemolymph is pumped back up into the thorax where it can take the heat back out. That's actually kind of cool. And then I'm going to talk about this one real quick because some of the stuff I've got is pretty heavy duty. I ate a bag of gummy worms starting last night, and I finished it off today. That's a lot of calories. And I'm down to 211 pounds from the 240 I was approximately the beginning of August. I want to keep that progression until I can get down to 200, or I was looking up a good weight for people that are my age and my height. They say about 180 to 190. That's really super thin kind of for me. And especially one of the issues with that is I have a lot of excess skin because I was heavier. I had gotten up to 325 pounds just after the death of my wife. I broke down a lot of the collagen and elastic fibers. I have stretch marks here, 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 all the way down across my belly. Even at 180 pounds, I am covered in loose skin. How much does that weigh? And while I mean, gosh, should you include the weight of your loose skin when you're trying to say how much you weigh? Because you're not really at that point dealing with actual weight of what's happening to your internal organs and all that, because you've got X amount of loose skin that's just stuff your heart has to pump blood through but will never go away. So if you get down to 180, are you really down to 170 plus a lot of loose skin? Once you start losing weight with loose skin, it starts getting to what are you losing at this point? Something vital? Yay. But let's see. Oh yes, back to the gummy worms. So my diet is I have a sweet tooth, and occasionally I will indulge that, but you work it into your diet. It's not a horrible break. It's not a break at all. I don't have a time limit on my weight loss, so if my weight loss goes like this, that's fine. But even at that was only about 1,200 calories. And I took some of them last night with a normal dinner of yogurt And then I finished off the rest today. Last night I thought about getting cookies, but all of them just were awful. In that I remember what they taste like and I remember what it feels like when I eat them, and I didn't want to do that. But I wanted something that was a treat, so I bought that bag of gummy worms. Now I'm full. I mean, I am not hungry in the slightest, so I am not going to eat anything for quite some time, like tonight, when I'm going to have, I have back there, a can of chili that I'm going to inundate with crushed red pepper flakes, and then that's going to be my dinner. I have also, because I want to make sure that I'm going to be okay, I take my multivitamins, and even though I am super dry right now, I am not dehydrated. I sound like it, but that's not the case. So, thumbs up on that. My diet is still going, and yes, 200 is in sight, because I'm 211 this morning. Thumbs up. Let's see, what else do I have here? Bethesda and StarCraft. Well, I dislike and don't ever want to play StarCraft. And as much as it's getting a ton of hate, especially lately, because of No Man's Sky. Thing is, as much as I don't like it, as much as I think they made a horrific mistake, I don't want it to die. I'm actually glad to hear that they are getting a second DLC, even though everyone out there is saying, you know, that's not really a good idea. But people bought the game. They deserve support. And as long as somebody enjoys something, I wouldn't want it to die. Enjoying things is good. If I don't like something, you know what that means? That means I don't like it. That doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it doesn't do it for me. StarCraft doesn't do it for me. Yeah, objectively, it's got issues that probably shouldn't exist. It's not a great game. But it shouldn't be abandoned. It shouldn't die. I want people who enjoy it to be able to enjoy it. I feel that way about just about everything out there, whether I hate it or love it. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean it's bad. That just means I don't like something. And at the same time, just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's bad. That just means that you don't like it. Thumbs up for that. Let's see. I'm sort of avoiding the one big thing there, so there's creative stuff on things that I wanted to talk about, but I guess I will do a little bit of this. I was asked in comments to talk about what happened with Charlie Kirk. And all I can really say on this one is, well, there's more than just, I'm not just limiting myself to one thing. I actually cried when I heard that he died. Now, I hated the guy. I hated him and everything he stands for. I think he and people like him have done immeasurable harm to this country that we may never be able to recover from. Lots of people have died and more are going to die because of intolerant people like Charlie Kirk. It makes me ashamed that my birth name was Kirk, and glad that my stepfather, my original father, then the stepfather. Stepfather had my last name now, Robin. I was adopted and got that name. Now I'm glad, because I wouldn't want to be associated with people like Charlie Kirk, even by name. But in no case do I think that people that I personally dislike should die. I cried because he was a human being that was murdered. Now, when you take a look at the things that he's said, like you shouldn't have empathy, empathy is a sin, that a certain amount of gun deaths every year are an acceptable price to pay for having a Second Amendment, yeah, I don't feel a great amount of sympathy for him. And I'm avoiding the things that his widow has said because I'm quite sure that I will think very, very bad things about her, and I don't want to do that because right now, losing my wife almost killed me. I cannot. Losing a husband to your kids? So on that matter, I hated people like him. And one of the reasons that he got murdered was the atmosphere that he said we need. And one of the things that people like him keep forgetting, and I mean the elite, is that this sort of violence hits you too. And they never think that. Like the CEO that Luigi taught, that yes, we're here too. And he was gone. Gun violence will come for you too, especially since, just like happened in 99.99 cases of political violence in this country, it was a Republican extremist committing domestic terrorism. 99.9% of all the people that have done this stuff ever since Reagan took place 50 years ago have been Republican extremists. So in this case, it was a Republican extremist, a groyper, who didn't like what Charlie Kirk was saying and decided to do something about it. The left gets pissed off about gun violence and tries to go out and pass laws. The right, when they see things like this, they go out and they spill their anger in innocent blood. I have no sympathy for Charlie Kirk. This is the atmosphere he fomented, and it came and got him. It happens. They have said, live by the sword, die by the sword. The thing is, that's a corruption of what's going on. It is actually a thing of pride by a mercenary. You live by the sword. You die by the sword. That is what you are there for. It is not a, well, you live by the sword, you die by the sword cautionary thing. No. You reap what you sow is better. And they are shocked when gun violence gets them too. This is my entire view on it. I still get choked up. I don't wish actual death on anybody, not even people I hate. Now, if you want to go into the psychopathic realm, which is what you do when you're doing games, role-playing games, in a role-playing game situation, when you have an enemy that you really dislike, you don't kill them to get rid of them. You maim them. You mutilate them. You cripple them so that every day when they... Oh my God, I have got an ancient moment coming up here. When you limp to the mirror and you look at the damage that they've done to you, and they know that every single day you did this. You went and ruined their life, and there's nothing they can do about it. That is what to do with an enemy. You don't kill them. But again, That is entirely in fantasy terms because that is psychopathic. And unlike the people that say empathy is a sin, I have way too much empathy. I don't even like killing bugs. So, on that front, I do want to play The Getaway for the channel, this PS2 game. I also want to get the Dying Light and the Supermarket Simulator, and I would like to do State of Decay and every other thing that I've gotten started, No Man's Sky. This is good. It's a fun one. And of course, on the doing the physical stuff front, I still have this, and gosh darn it, I need to do all of the Mike Lambo solo game book games, because this isn't just a game. It's got the rules in the front, but then each page has the AI on one side and the game map on the other. These are good. He has like 8 fantasy ones out of like 25, 30 books all together. So I like the fantasy types too. Yay! But that is, I'm going to say, hey, it's call for action time. If you like, comment, share, subscribe, that'd be very cool. Definitely appreciated. If you're a patron, you are a beautiful and awesome person. Thumbs up and thank you. Hopefully people are still watching after my Charlie Kirk rant. But I do play, well, no, I'm not there yet. For everybody that left me a comment, thumbs up, thank you. It is appreciated. I read every comment that YouTube shows me. I thumbs up every comment that I can, and if I can't, or the comment is particularly witty or heartfelt, I give it a heart. And I do play an internet game of calling out a secret word or writing prompt, and then listening to see if that's called back. Listening by asking if I can English, I promise you. Asking it to be written into the comment section. It's not required, but the people that last played were Jesse Koskinen, thumbs up and thank you. We have Dust Garrett, 6838, greatly appreciated. Chris, thumbs up, thank you, and all of your incarnations and flavors. We have Sir Schmuckle, always good to see you in the comments, my friend. And Toilet Decimator. As much as I don't like base stuff, and especially elimination, that my neurodivergence just does not like that sort of, I don't even like eating. I eat for flavor. I wish I could stop eating for life, but that's just my neurodivergence. As much as I don't like that stuff, I still find your username funny, and thank you so very much for being a part of my viewing audience. I know that people rotate in, and eventually your tastes change, and people rotate out, and then I never see them again. But for the time that you are here, and the time that you are watching, thumbs up and thank you. It is appreciated, and I like seeing names like yours in the comments. Now, if you have watched this far, if you could type the word, well, first we'll go, do you think that you could live in a galaxy with people like this? Or, if you would not like a writing prompt, and I understand, because I would take this option myself, if you could type the word galaxy into the comments, that would be very, very cool. Now, is it a requirement that you either type a writing prompt or that you type in this word? No, of course not. It's not mandatory in the slightest. If you don't want to play, you don't have to. I wouldn't force you even if I had the power. But if you do choose to write something down, thumbs up, thank you. It is appreciated. I do read them, and it does make me feel happy to be heard. Thank you. Which is also one of the reasons I like to answer as many comments as I can to show you that you are being heard. Well, son of a gun, I'm going to take care of myself today. It is 1:24. It was noon before I finished getting ready for the day. I don't know, well, my ADHD med ran out, and I'm finally feeling the effects of the going cold turkey, so I guess I do know why I'm doing all this. Ugh. But I'm going to be doing my best. I'm going to be playing games. I'm going to be playing computer games. I've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky again, so thumbs up on that. But I hope you can get done with the things that you would like to get done, and if not, please do not beat yourself up, because you know what? You deserve better. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And let me click here first so I can get that out of the way. That is indeed a very, very good thing. That way I can see my hand best. I probably have to change these batteries again. They burn out quickly, but I use rechargeable batteries. It's a heavy outlay, like $16 for a pack of 4 rechargeables. But the first time you recharge them and use them, they've paid for that. Because it's like $10 for a pack of 12 AA batteries. You recharge them. I've had these things, the rechargeable batteries for this and everything for a couple of years now. They work great. Thumbs up for that. Anyway, yeah, there's this, and past that. Oh, I guess this died. I do need to recharge that because I had turned it off. I'll have to see in editing when it goes. Anyway, I'm going to click the turn off thing because it's 31 minutes in. I don't think anyone's going to be watching. Ugh, but thank you if you do.